Imagine stepping onto a dusty shooting range under a blazing sun, where the air crackles with the sharp reports of gunfire and the smug chuckles of seasoned marksmen. There she was, a lone woman clutching a rifle painted a vibrant, almost childish red, a color that screamed anything but serious competition. They laughed openly, calling it a toy, a joke in a world of camo and steel, but little did they know, that red rifle carried the weight of a shattered heart and an unbreakable promise. And in that moment, as the wind whispered secrets across the vast expanse, she was about to turn their mockery into awestruck silence. The range stretched out like an endless canvas of earth and sky, miles of rugged terrain dotted with distant targets that mocked even the best shooters. Anna gripped her red rifle tighter, feeling the familiar grooves where her fingers had worn the paint over years of quiet practice. It wasn't just any gun, it was her father's, the one he'd painted red on a whim during her childhood, laughing as he said it would make her stand out like a firecracker in a field of sparklers. Back then, shooting was their bond, hours spent in the backyard perfecting her aim while he shared stories of his own days in the military, his voice steady and warm like the summer breeze. But cancer had stolen him away too soon, leaving her with nothing but memories and this ridiculous red relic that now drew sneers from the crowd of burly men adjusting their high-tech scopes. As she set up her position, their whispers grew louder. What's she thinking with that Barbie gun? But Anna's mind drifted to the hospital room, her father's frail hand pressing the rifle into hers, whispering, "Show them what heart looks like, kiddo." Could she really honor that promise here with the world watching and doubting? The competition was no ordinary event. It was the annual long-range challenge where legends were made and egos shattered. The final test? A shot at 6,000 meters, an insane distance that pushed the limits of physics, wind, and human precision. Most competitors bowed out, shaking their heads at the sheer impossibility, but Anna stepped forward, her heart pounding like a war drum in her chest. She could feel the sun baking her skin, the dry dirt crunching under her boots, and the faint metallic tang of gun oil mixing with her rising nerves. The men erupted in laughter again, one bellowing, "Save it for the carnival, sweetheart." Yet in that ridicule, Anna found a spark of defiance, remembering the nights after her father's death when she'd sneak out to the old range, tears blurring her vision as she fired round after round, each shot a scream against the emptiness. What if this was her chance to silence not just them, but the grief that had haunted her for so long? As she lay prone on the ground, the red rifle nestled against her shoulder like an old friend, the world around her faded into a tunnel of focus. The target was a speck on the horizon, a tiny flag fluttering mockingly in the gusts that could derail any bullet's path. She adjusted for elevation, her breath slowing to a rhythmic whisper, "Inhale the doubt, exhale the fear." Her mind raced through calculations. Wind speed at 15 knots from the northwest, humidity thickening the air, the Coriolis effect twisting everything just so. The crowd's jeers turned to murmurs as she chambered the round, the click echoing in her ears like a final heartbeat. This wasn't just about hitting a mark, it was about reclaiming the pieces of herself lost in hospital beeps and empty chairs. Would the shot fly true or would it shatter her resolve forever? The trigger pull felt like destiny unfolding in slow motion, the recoil jolting through her body like a thunderclap. The bullet soared into the vast blue, invisible against the sky, carrying with it years of sacrifice. The missed birthdays, the lonely holidays, the quiet determination that had turned a grieving daughter into a force of nature. Time stretched agonizingly as everyone held their breath, binoculars glued to that distant point. Anna's pulse thrummed in her temples, visions of her father flashing before her. His proud smile after her first bullseye, his weakened grip urging her on. The men shifted uncomfortably, their laughter dying in their throats as seconds ticked by like hours. And then, the impossible happened. What would the impact reveal about the power of a broken heart mended by sheer will? A faint puff of dust erupted at the target, the flag snapping as the hit registered on the monitors. The range fell into a profound hush, the kind that blankets a room after a miracle unfolds. Anna rose slowly, her legs shaky, but her eyes fierce with quiet triumph. The men who had mocked her now stared in disbelief, one by one lowering their caps in unspoken respect. She thought of her father then, imagining him watching from somewhere beyond the clouds, his laugh booming once more. This shot wasn't just a victory over distance, it was a bridge across the chasm of loss, proving that love could propel a bullet farther than any scope or steel. But as the applause finally broke the silence, tentative at first then swelling like a wave, Anna felt a bittersweet ache. Had she finally let go, or was this just the beginning of carrying his legacy forward? In the days that followed, stories of the red rifle spread like wildfire, inspiring underdogs everywhere to embrace their quirks and heartaches. Anna returned home to her quiet life, the rifle back on its shelf, but now gleaming with a new layer of meaning. She'd sacrificed comfort for courage, isolation for impact, and in doing so forged connections with strangers who'd felt the same sting of doubt. The range that day wasn't silenced by fear, but by the raw power of human resilience. And as she whispered goodnight to her father's photo that evening, a soft smile on her lips, she knew the Real shot had hit its mark, right in the soul. What hidden strengths might you unleash when the world laughs?